Powered by the Montana Television Network. Montana This Morning continues on Montana's News Leader.
Some Senate Democrats are questioning the record of President Trump's second nominee to the U.S. Supreme Court. I'm Laura Podesta with details on what those lawmakers want released before Brett Kavanaugh is confirmed to the Supreme Court.
And Gallatin County is raising taxes in the coming year. Coming up, how much tax bills are expected to rise and how the extra money will be spent. Good morning to you. It is 6:30 on your Labor Day Monday. I'm Missy O'Malley. Chet Lehman and Matt Elwell are off today. Carson Vickroy will have our forecast in just a few moments. Senate confirmation hearings for Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh begin tomorrow. Lawmakers on Capitol Hill are preparing for a fight, especially after the White House decided to withhold 100,000 pages of Kavanaugh's records. CBS's Laura Podesta has our details.
Is that this is not normal.
Senate Democrats are criticizing the Trump administration's decision not to release thousands of documents on Supreme Court nominee Judge Brett Kavanaugh, records from his time as a lawyer in President George W. Bush's administration.
The assertion of executive privilege by the White House to take 100,000 documents and say the American people will not get a chance to see them as they reflect on Kavanaugh's background is the first time in history. This denial of access to documents violates a rule that we thought was the tradition of the Senate.
The chairman of the Judiciary Committee, Republican Senator Chuck Grassley, released a statement supporting the decision to hold some records and provided numbers of how many Kavanaugh-related documents have been turned over. More than 400,000, the most of recent Supreme Court nominees.
Democrats have more than enough information to understand that this is a highly qualified jurist that should be the next Supreme Court justice.
Republicans are hopeful Kavanaugh will win over bipartisan support.
If he does well at the hearing, he will get, my belief is 55 or higher. I think there are a handful of Democrats who will vote for Judge Kavanaugh if he does well, and maybe even more.
Among the topics Democrats are expected to press Kavanaugh on are abortion, interrogation, and special counsel Robert Mueller's investigation. Laura Podesta, CBS News.
Senate Republicans hold a slim 50-49 majority after the recent death of Senator McCain. Right now, they can't afford to lose a single vote if all 49 Democrats vote against Kavanaugh, but that's not a sure thing. Now, both our Montana U.S. Senators, Jon Tester and Steve Daines, have shared their thoughts on Judge Kavanaugh. Senator Tester says, quote, "I look forward to meeting with Judge Kavanaugh and asking him questions about our right to privacy and women's access to health care. This position is incredibly important, and I am committed to vetting Mr. Kavanaugh to ensure he will uphold Montanans' constitutional rights," end quote. And Senator Steve Daines shared his thoughts on Twitter. Daines said, quote, "Montanans overwhelmingly want a Supreme Court justice with impeccable academic credentials, someone who does not legislate from the bench, but upholds the rule of law. Judge Kavanaugh is that person," unquote. Now, confirmation hearings for both Supreme Court nominee Judge Kavanaugh begin tomorrow. Now, if the Senate approves the nomination, it will mark President Trump's second appointment to the High Court and to solidify its conservative majority. Carson joins me now. Carson, you've been talking about how much of a beautiful Labor Day we have in store for us. I'm so excited about this.
Yeah, I mean, we've certainly started out well. I mean, temperatures currently across the region, I mean, we're in the 70s, or it's not 70s yet, but that is a preview for what's to come. But 27 down in West Yellowstone, and then 30s and 40s across the rest of the region. So that is a perfect start. It's only going to get better as we head on throughout the day, and that's because of this guy. We do have an area of high pressure over Idaho currently. That's going to keep us dry and keep us in the 70s for at least today. We do have changes on the way for tomorrow, but we're starting at 42 in Bozeman. Temperatures will climb to the middle to upper 70s by about 4 or 6 o'clock this evening. And then also for Butte, starting out in the 30s, but we will quickly warm up to those middle to upper 70s by the end of the day. Beautiful picture at our iCam in Butte currently. Now we'll have your full Labor Day forecast, and we'll talk about that cool down that's on the way. That's all coming up a little later on Montana This Morning. Missy?
Thank you, Carson. Now 6:34. We start off with our Treasure State News with an update for you now at the Howell Ridge Fire in Glacier National Park. It's held steady over the past few days. It's burned a little over 12,400 acres and it's 12% contained. There's over 340 people assigned to battle the lightning-sparked fire. And a few numbers show that it's cost of an estimated of $7.83 million to battle the Howe Ridge fire, which has burned structures and forced evacuations in Glacier National Park. Now, some spot fires have occurred in the last few days, but crews continue to manage that growth. An important reminder for hikers and campers, the majority of Glacier National Park is open. The Howe Ridge fire is burning in less than 1% of Glacier's more than 1 million acres. And Gallatin County has approved next year's budget this week, which will be more than $20 million than last year's. MTN's Medeiros Babb finds out what that means for county residents and tax bills and what that money will be used for.
At $170 million, this next year's budget for Gallatin County is the largest to date. Commissioner Steve White says that the county's expansion has a lot to do with that.
It's certainly a lot of money, but it's, there's just a lot of needs that occur with a growing county.
Financial analyst Justine Swanson says there will be 14 added county positions, including 2 new deputies, a detective, as well as 2 motor vehicle department employees. These positions, along with the voter-approved open space levy, account for the increase in expenses.
So a lot of it is associated with the growth, and we have seen there's a almost $20 million increase in the expenses, but there's also increases in our revenues that are coming from that.
Swanson says this increase for the non-taxable revenues is equivalent to about $11 million. After accounting for all the revenues and expenses, an owner of a $300,000 residential home will see an increase of about $46 in property taxes. White says half of these taxes will go to the open space program.
$20 it's certainly $20, but we also have to deal with some of the needs of our government.
Scott McFarland, who is running against White this year for county commissioner, says he agreed with most of the budget, but wishes the county would have put more aside for county employees' wages for the sheriff and the 911 center.
We tend not to be very competitive with our neighboring counties with sheriff's wages, and we all hate to see our good sheriffs go to the neighboring communities to work. We should have the best sheriffs in our state, in Gallatin County.
Both White and Swanson did say that in the past, commissioners had been relatively conservative when it comes to spending taxpayers' dollars, and this year was no different. In Bozeman, Medeiros Babb, MTN News.
Now, Medeiros also adds this year's commissioners contemplated adding another $11 to increase the tax increase, but they ultimately decided against it. And the Gallatin County Farmers Market is winding down the season by finishing out its last 2 weeks. This farmers market has been around for over 40 years. For over 20 years, it's been run by Career Transitions. Employee Christy Wedge says that the nonprofit first took over the market when it had about 60 booths. Now it's grown to over 200 booths. She said with more booths, the quality and variety of the products sold have expanded. Now the last farmers market will be this coming Saturday at the Gallatin County Fairgrounds. And Enel Sports Bras began when the company founder, Ronell Broughton, couldn't find a sports bra that she felt delivered the promise and comfort and support. Ronell's journey is featured in our new episode of Under the Big Sky, coming later this month. And here's a little preview.
Under the Big Sky is sponsored by Rocky Mountain Vein Clinic and Markovich Real Estate.
I think the biggest thing about my customer is she's been told a million times that this bra is going to work for her, and then it doesn't. When they finally get something that actually does work, it's life-changing. Women didn't really get into sports and working out until Title IX started up. Women decided they could participate in a lot of things that nobody thought of even putting them in, you know. You can't run without a good pair of tennis shoes. Same thing with sports bras. It was something that was needed. In the late 70s, 2 women came up with the idea of sewing 2 jock straps together to make the first sports bra. That's kind of how it all began. It's been amazing since then how much it's evolved. Different styles of sports bras for different reasons. My sports bra, the Enel, was made for well-endowed women. There really wasn't anything that I felt worked well enough, so I got into the game a little bit. That was in the late 80s, early 90s. Haven't found one yet I like better than mine. It works extremely well, plus it's comfortable. To me, that's the main thing. You can't have the little spaghetti strap thing and make it work for larger breast women. It just doesn't. Running or playing sports, you need a sports bra that works if you're going to do that.
Now you can catch the full Enel's story on the upcoming episode of Under the Big Sky. It airs Saturday, September 22nd at 6 p.m. and 10:35 right here on MTN News. It is time for a quick break. In just a moment, we head to the Big Apple, where they've been having a big problem with bees. Introducing you to the bee team, bringing their A game. That's just in a moment. But first, we head to the desk in New York City, where Anthony Mason has a preview of your Monday morning headlines.
Good morning. Ahead on CBS this morning, a federal judge stops the hunt for grizzly bears around Yellowstone. Why hunters say the previously endangered animals should be fair game. And a look at some of the most anticipated movies coming out this fall and the controversy surrounding the moon landing movie First Man. We'll see at 7.